Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you a simple 2-light setup for studio portrait using LED light. If you've been following this channel for quite a while, then you might notice we talk about using LED light for portrait lighting many times. This is because LED light been improved so much in the recent years. Like before, like 3 or 4 years ago, if you ask me about LED light, I would be like, I'm not sure. But now, like if you just start, want to learn portrait lighting, you want to learn studio lighting, and you want to start a new studio, and then you think about investing on lighting, I would definitely recommend using LED light. So compared with strobe, LED light has many benefits. The first one is obvious. LED light is constant light. So with constant light, you can do both photo and video. So if you're a hybrid photographer, you do video at the same time, and this is apparently is a good choice for you. You cannot do video with a strobe light. But for some people saying, you know what, I'm mainly doing photography, and then how about that? Yeah, of course, even other than that, LED light have some other benefits. The first one is, I think is a huge one, is compatibility. When you're shooting with a strobe light, many photographers, probably all the photographers that I know, they stick with one brand. People barely mix different brands of strobe light together. The reason is obvious, because the triggering system, everything. So basically, in order to make sure the lighting, the trigger is consistency, you need to make sure the trigger, the strobe, and sometimes even the light modifiers come from the same brand. So this means usually if you want to try a different brand, switch to a different brand, you need to replace the whole system. And the trigger, the working between the trigger and the camera and the strobe have to be very specific. Certain trigger was made only working with a certain camera with a certain brand of flash. So this make the future upgrade, or if you want a more light, you're pretty much stuck with one system. But with LED, you have the whole freedom to do whatever you want. You can make it with many different brands together, and there's no issue, and you never have to worry about trigger because you don't even need one. So if you want to start with something small, then you slowly build out the system, and then you don't have to worry about, okay, in the future I might try a different brand, maybe some other manufacturer make some really cool things, I want to try them together with my existing system. LED will give you full control of that. This is a huge bonus. So that's the first one. The second one is actually the cost. Talking about the cost, and people might wonder, okay, I don't see I save a lot of money using LED versus strobe light. For example, the LED light is kind of like pretty comparable with those mid-range strobe light. Yeah, there are some high-end strobe lights which cost thousands of dollars, but we put in the auto equation. Not everybody is using them. But compared with like the mid-level, and they kind of like the same. But this is just the price on the surface, but there's some hidden costs that people or you might not aware. For example, if you're using strobe, they don't last forever. And actually, they have quite a bit of a maintenance thing that you have to deal with. Like for example, I have 3 strobe lights I've been using for 8 years. Within these 3 strobe lights, I mean they're actually like a top tier brand, and then they're supposed to last longer, be more reliable. But within the 8 years, one strobe light I have to replace the capacitor once. The other 2 I have to replace the capacitor twice. So every time it failed, I had to send to the shop to get it repaired, and then each time it cost me $400. So basically what happened is like the capacitor is it has a lifespan. After certain times, it just decided it cannot work anymore. It doesn't want to work anymore. So it does this by exploding itself. So what happened is like in the middle of the shoot, without any warning, you will see like the popping sound, like firecrackers inside of your strobe, and then there's a smoke coming out of your strobe, and then everything just stopped working. So just imagine you're in the middle of an important commercial shoot with your top tier client. It's definitely something you don't want to happen. But apparently there's no control for that. So with strobe, you almost always need to carry up a backup. And every time if you've been using your strobe for a while, and then so every time you're going out to do the photo shoot, you kind of like, I wonder if today is the day it's gonna explode. So that's basically the thing with the strobe. Like based on my knowledge, this capacitor thing is definitely not like a one-off. It's something like just happened to many brands, and then like people just have to deal with it. So that's one thing about strobe. The second thing is there's another part in the strobe that's actually quite fragile. That is the flash tube. So I haven't have a flash tube happen to me that just failed, but I have it once that I sent strobe to the repair for the capacitor. And when I sent it back to me, I realized the light's not working, and then I found out there's a tiny little crack on the flash tube, and then the flash tube is done. So that's $300 to replace that. They are so fragile. Actually, some manufacturers recommend you to take off the flash tube when you transporting it. And then when you take it off, you have to be very careful. You're not supposed to touch it with your hand, because the oil on your hand could left on the flash tube and end up like when the flash fire, it could cause very high temperature, and then it could lose some like burn marks on the flash tube. So you have to wearing like a rubber gloves, things like that. So it's just something like I would rather not deal with it. With LED, you don't have any of these issues. And I'm not saying LED can last forever, but I did some research. These LED, they can last normally between 30 to 50,000 hours. Some brand claim they can last for 100,000 hours. So what exactly does this number mean to us? So if you do like a rough calculation, like if you run a studio, you shoot like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then so if you're working like this, and then basically a flash LED can last you 15 years. Well, that number is kind of like released by the factory. They might be, I'm not saying exaggerating, that probably like the best case scenario. Maybe the real number is only half of that, or I should say, because LED is not like strobe, they don't just like fill suddenly, they slowly reducing the performance. Maybe the true life is only half of that. So that still means like you can shoot 7.5 a year. But the other thing is that's based on the fact you shoot every day, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and who shoot that much, right? So in theory, the LED will give you gonna be a lot less reliable, way less maintenance compared with the strobe light. So talking about the cost, there's some other costs over there as well, because like I said previously mentioned, in terms of a switching system, which usually gonna cost you a lot, and then you don't have to purchase trigger, these save you money as well. But actually, there's another hidden cost that people don't aware, which is the cost related to the camera. You might wonder, okay, how this has anything to do with the camera? So this is the thing, there's a camera all has something called a shutter count. So basically every time the shutter open and close, it just put a little bit wear on the shutter, so eventually the shutter gonna fail. But this is based on the fact that you use a mechanical shutter. The shutter, most of the modern camera right now, they allow you to use two different types of shutter, with the mechanical and the electronic shutter. In theory, the electronic shutter has zero wear on your shutter, but the mechanical does. But this is the thing, so when you're shooting with strobe, you have to use a mechanical shutter. You cannot use the electronic shutter. But that's not the case when you're using LED. So in theory, if you're shooting with LED light, you can just keep shooting with the electronic shutter and have zero wear on your camera. That's absolutely a good thing, is that not only make your camera last a lot longer, it's always a good news. The other thing is many people probably not going to use the camera till it dies, but even if you're going to trade it in or you're going to sell it, you can have a better resale value because the camera is better maintained. So that's the other thing. So later on I'll show you the photo that I did using LED light. The recent 2 sessions I shot with the LED light, actually I use an electronic shutter. And the result is just as amazing as using mechanical shutter with strobe light. You cannot tell the difference at all. Okay, so that's the benefit talking about the cost. But there's one thing very important that we haven't talked about yet when we're comparing LED with the strobe is the LED powerful enough? For that question, it's not an easy yes or no. Well, I can tell you, you cannot expect you get the same result as a strobe when you're using it just like a 60 watt or 100 watt LED. It's just not gonna happen. It doesn't work that way. But if you use a more powerful LED, the difference is very minimal, or sometimes it get to a point that there's absolutely no difference. It basically means you can shoot a base ISO, there's zero compromise, just like the way you're doing studio. So talking about that, then let's move on to the lighting setup that I'm going to introduce to you. So this one is a 2-light setup. So basically it's a key light, kicker light with a reflector. the kicker light is play a very small role in this lighting setup because it only does like maybe less than 10 or 5% of the lighting. If you're using a more powerful LED light, which I will later show you what I use in this setup, you use a powerful key light, you can easily replace this kicker light with a reflector. So in theory, this 2-light setup, you can do it with just one light. So I think this could be a very good choice for someone who just started or someone just want to learn with studio lighting, and then you can just easily start with one light. In the future, you can add more, you can just easily add more LEDs, just give you a lot of freedom in terms of compatibility, like I explained it before. Now let's talk about the most important part of this lighting setup, the key light. So the key light that I use for this lighting setup is sent from a company called Vitapole. They are the authorized distributor of Nanlite. And the light they sent to me is Nanlite FC-720B. It's a 720 watt bicolor LED light. This light is absolutely a powerhouse. It's so powerful, it's basically allow me to shoot with base ISO. It's bicolor as well, so which allow you to change the color temperature. I believe it's between 2700K to 6800K. Nanlite is a really well-known light manufacturer, and they've been making video light for a long time. And then I do recommend people to purchase the LED light from a well-known brand. The reasons for that is like LED, like what I said, they're reliable, but there's a key thing that is very important to make sure that you can run the LED as long as you can is the cooling, because what will damage the LED the most are the heat. So the difference between these well-known brand or some like, you know, cheap LED is like the well-known brand, they put a lot of like effort on the cooling systems to make sure the LED is constantly running on the ideal temperature. This is going to greatly increase the lifespan of your LED light. So for this light, the Nanlite FC-720B, I also find out that the kit that's coming with it is a very well designed, is a very thoughtful design. The thing is like it includes the mounting hardware, which is very useful. So basically the mounting hardware is a super clamp and has this mounting part like which allow you to clamp on your light stand, and then you can put the controller, clip the controller directly on the super clamp. This makes the whole design very clean and in the meantime very stable. It also shifts more weight to the bottom of the light stand instead of making the whole setup more like a top heavy. Okay, now let's take a look at the light modifier. The light modifier uses 3-foot octa box with grid. So the reason I use a 3-foot octa box is I think it's a very good balance between the efficiency and the quality. So what I mean by that is like in terms of the efficiency is like compare with a strobe light, I use a 4-feet octa. But if we're using 3-feet octa, that means the light gonna be more concentrated. So when you mount this on your LED light, so the light intensity gonna be higher, the output is gonna be more effective. So this is more guaranteed that you can shoot with like an ideal camera setting, like a very low ISO, you know, things like that. And then the light modifier does a little bit smaller, but for me, like the difference between 3 feet and 4-feet octa is very minimal. Many times I can barely tell the difference, and I can show you some example done by 3 feet and 4-feet octa box, and most of the time I cannot tell the difference. So for that reason, I think 3 feet is a good balance for LED due to the fact like you can barely see the difference. At the meantime, it does give you a more power when you connect to the LED light. And then the grid. Grid is absolutely essential for a small studio. Grid does one thing, and it does one thing really well. It's basically the lighting control. So basically what we do is sometimes you want the light just hit on your subject, very minimal or barely any to hit on the background. So you want this better separation of the lighting on your subject versus the background. And the grid is just much better. It does the thing without using any extra space. Without using grid, there's only two other options. The first is using flag, basically just like a piece of like a blackboard, and then you mount it on the light stand and use it to block the light, and so it's not gonna hit on the background, it's only gonna hit on your subject. Obviously, if you do it this way, you're gonna need an extra light stand. It's just like take more space in your studio and gonna be more messy. The second way is like you just make your subject stand way away from the background, and then that means you're gonna need a lot more space in your studio. For me, that's just not an option. Grid is just the way to go. Of course, with grid, there's drawback. The way using grid will usually cut off your light between a third to half stop of light. So you need to just like give more power, and this is part of the reason I recommend using the 700 watt LED and plus using slightly smaller light modifier. I think it balances everything pretty well. And then the reflector, always use silver. The silver reflector compared with a white reflector, it just like the reflecting is just more direct. The light is more crisp, more punchy, more contrasty. I don't like using white reflector because the light just turned to be too soft. I get to a point it's a little bit unnatural for me. I always prefer have a little bit more contrasty and the light a little bit more punchy. Of course, and then with this lighting setup, not only allow you to do photo, you can also do a video. So during the photo shoot, I also shoot a short video, and then I'm gonna show you guys. Alright, some people might say, okay, now you've been talking a whole bunch of bad things about strobe, but people have been using it for so many years, but now it feels like it's just crappy, like people should never use it. Well, that's not what I mean. Well, strobe, like what I said, like people have been using for years, and I constantly got great result. I'm not saying like it's not worth any money anymore. I'm just saying, you know, with the technology getting better and better, and we start having like a better options out there, and then something you should definitely consider, which is the LED light. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'll put more content there soon, and then there will be more behind the scene videos, and there will be another one coming up, which is the outdoor one, still using LED light. Like you can see, I'm getting more and more excited using LED light. Yeah, but anyway, thanks guys, I'll see you next time.